Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. I've been asked a few questions about AdSense, and this video is not suitable for all advertisers, and I just want to share some of my experience with you guys. The videos I've had put into not suitable for all advertisers, and then I ask for a review, are the following videos. And I'm not even going to say the title, because then who knows, this might get knocked out, and then folks, it won't get spread around, and then folks won't see it, and then they can't learn. I put up some videos on the Baja Warrior that somebody put a chopper sissy bar on the back, chopper, backrest, let's go with backrest, and change the gas tank to be a live gas tank, and the gas tank belongs to a certain manufacturer. Both those videos got flagged, and I'm not sure what terminology got them flagged. I believe they were flagged by a Google robot, a YouTube robot, a bot, flagged them for some of the terminology I used. Also, I had a video flagged where I was using cardboard to clear some brush. It actually works fairly well. You just, with nice green brush, you drop the cardboard in, and when you burn it, it kills the brush, and then it doesn't take much cardboard, and I think it's better than chemicals for me. I think it's actually a pretty decent idea. And then once the brush dies from the heat of the burning cardboard, you could go back in, and it's much easier to either cut down, I mean the bugs are out of it, mice, everything is kind of scattered, snakes, all that stuff is kind of left, and now it's easier to cut down, or you just throw some more cardboard on it, and now that the brush is dry, it burns up easier, and the green brush around it, the fire stops there. I mean, you have to be prepared, but anyway, those are the videos I've had flagged, and I've requested reviews for all of them, and they remove that not suitable for all advertisers flag. The only problem is typically they get flagged 3 or 4 hours after they're posted, and they stay in that penalty box for the next 24 to 72 hours, has been my experience. And if you're a small channel like me, that's kind of like when you get most of your views, right? If you're doing a couple hundred views, normally you pick them up in the first 24 to 48 hours, and then after that, you might pick up a few more views, but once again, the bulk of them are out front. So if you lose the advertisers for the bulk of your views, that kind of hurts a little bit. You could tell by the way I'm using my words and speaking to the camera, I'm trying to be very, very careful to not trigger any of those bots out there. But my experience is, if you use a word describing somebody, and it doesn't have to be a profanity, but if you're using a word to describe not even somebody, a group of people, a bunch of people, or somebody behaved like such and such, that will get your video flagged. If you use a brand name in such a way that, would like to be such and such, or a terminology like that, that seems to get flagged. And once again, they turn the videos right back on, right back on in 24 to 72 hours. But if your video gets un-AdSensed right up front, then it's kind of offline for the next 48 hours, you kind of lose money. My other concern is, I think if they're flagged, I'm not sure the videos are then placed all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm not sure they're like telling folks, we recommend this video for you, or there's a video that might interest you. I'm not sure if they're sitting in that penalty box, if they're doing that anymore, because it also seems that the videos that are placed in the penalty box, the views have a tendency to die off, and then once they're out of the penalty box, they recover slightly, but not, the video never does in what it should be compared to others like it, right? You know, you kind of compare your videos to what you've done and what you haven't done, and so forth. So anyway, that's my take. I obviously speak for me and my channel. I don't speak for Google. I don't know everything that's going on with this stuff. Many of you will know more. All I could say is, if your video does end up in that, you know, not suitable for all advertisers, watch your video again. If there's a profanity, a radio playing in the background, you know, a poster of some movie or something back here, or automotive or whatever, that you do not have copyright for. I mean, look at your video critically, and then figure out, you know, what not to do next time. But if, no matter what, I also think one should ask for a review, because I think it's important to be told, no, this is what the issue is. As of right now, I've just, once again, had videos put in the, let's call it penalty box, and nobody really explained to me why. I could kind of guess with the Baja Warrior videos, because I used the same term twice, speaking of a brand name of motorcycle manufacturer, and I think that's what got that put in the penalty box. I think about burning cardboard to get rid of brush. Perhaps, you know, they thought that some advertisers would find that environmentally bad. I personally would rather burn a little bit of cardboard and have the ash blow away than use chemicals that eventually gets into the groundwater and possibly my well. But you know, you never know. I mean, right now there's a helicopter flying overhead. I would picture, if I make a comment about the helicopter in any way that could be assumed bad, that would probably get this video put off to the side. You know, for all of us who publish on YouTube, this is their platform, this is their thing. It's like playing baseball when you were a kid, and if you had some kid who said, hey, the rules are my rules, even if I'm changing them all the time, you can either play, or I'm taking my ball and I'm going to go home. To some extent, those of us who publish on YouTube are in that. I don't know what to do with it, except say that when I was a kid, at some point the rules got to the point where, you know, nobody would play with the kid who owned the ball, and we all figured out another way to play without him and his ball. That's what happened when I was a kid. You know, I don't know of any other platforms out there that interest me. I mean, currently I'm on YouTube. I plan to stay on YouTube. There's not an issue with that. But I do wish that they were able to tune their bots such that if I use a turn of phrase that's not profane or racist, or you know, or any of the things, you know, against women, against folks who own guns, against folks who don't like to own guns, right? If I don't use a turn of phrase that hurts anybody or promotes violence or anything like that, I mean, something that my users and I find amusing, a certain turn of phrase perhaps, I mean, it's hard to lose the few pennies of monetization that I get off a video that I use to build the horde. I mean, this stuff doesn't just show up. I mean, my wife definitely, as you pay your bills, there's not enough extra money to allow me to go to Udizzy's, or to go up and see Musty One, or to, take a bike that, yeah, I do have a few dollars tied up in, but I could give it away. Well, the AdSense income allows me to do some of those things. Without the AdSense income, the memory chips, the camera, all this other stuff, right? Once again, the road trips, the buying stuff, it gets harder to do. There's just, money for everything is lubrication, right? There's less lubrication on the gears. You got to go slower, and you got to stop for maintenance much more. In other words, you got to stop and wait until a couple of months goes by, and you save up a couple of checks, and then you say, oh, I can buy that gearbox for such and such, or that new motor for the mule, or whatever it is I'm considering buying. So no one that I directly interact with is getting rich on AdSense, but for all of us, it helps us make the videos, and getting any of that taken away, whether it's a quarter or half or 3/4, makes it harder to make the videos we enjoy making. So I'm hoping that YouTube and Google tune their bots well. Anyway, folks, I really want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and get out there and enjoy every single one of your days. Bye now, folks.